The United States has urged the Turkish government to restore access to the social network Twitter. The White House has said blocking the site goes against Turkey's desire to be a model of democracy. Well, the BBC's Jody Sabral has spent many a year living in Turkey, and she's been following this story and joins us now from Hampshire. Jody, you first have to explain to us why Prime Minister Erdogan has blocked Twitter. What is he scared of?
Well, he's done it now because more than at any time before, he wants to control the message. And that's because we're 8 days away now from a local election. There have been a series of leaked phone calls that implicate him in a corruption scandal and those around him. And also because he just doesn't like any kind of criticism levelled against him on social media. Erdogan, it's believed, last year during the anti-government protest, employed thousands of his own tweeters and an online army, as it was described in the Turkish media, to combat this kind of dissent. But it's obviously not worked, and that's why he said he was going to wipe Twitter off the face of the map, which he thinks he's done, but it doesn't seem to have happened that way.
Well, there are other forms of social media that people could use. How important, though, has Twitter been for people who want to express anti-government sentiment and to organise themselves? Because, of course, so many people have been on the streets of major Turkish cities for months.
It has been very significant in terms of organising people and getting them together in these anti-government protests that have been carried out and erupted in cities right across Turkey. But of course, it's not only Twitter. YouTube is the fundamental source of where these leaks are being published, the corruption, the phone calls that implicate him in the corruption case. And also Facebook. A lot of people have turned to Facebook because it's slightly more private. They feel that there's a level of privacy that the government can't tap into because Twitter obviously is very public.
There's an election coming up, so presumably he wants to control the media for that. But has anyone, do you know, ever been prosecuted for writing something against the government on social media?
There have been cases, and there have been lots of cases of intimidation against journalists. I know one journalist who has been intimidated by a press advisor within the Foreign Ministry, and she therefore stopped tweeting. It's a campaign of intimidation against people. Now, whether this is going to play into the election results really remains to be seen. I just came back from Istanbul, and Erdogan has a very tight grip on the campaign. He's campaigning aggressively. It's almost like a general election. This is a local election, and the individual candidates are hardly visible in this campaign. So he is campaigning aggressively, going across. He's been visiting 80 cities across Turkey, and obviously this clampdown on Twitter is just part of him controlling that message.
OK, Jody, thanks very much indeed. Jody Sabral on Turkey's ban on Twitter.